Why, thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen.
If you would like to make public comments, please come sign up on the sheet. However many people sign up, that'll determine sort of what amount of time we allot, etc.
Does questions mean public comment?
Huh?
Question, public comment?
If you have a specific question, sure.
Thank you.
You betcha.
Excuse me.
All right. You ready, Julie?
Ready.
Okay. All right. Welcome to the City of Green River regular City Council meeting held on Tuesday, January 9th, year 2024 at 7 p.m. We will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance as directed by Councilman Ben Lemhoff.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So as a matter of housekeeping, just to say it one more time, if anyone would like to make public comment, please come and sign up on the sign-up sheet. That's how we're going to determine the order and how much time we allot. So if you'd like to make it, please come sign up. First agenda item is the recognition of Kathy Ryan's years of service as a council member. We really appreciate everything she did. Yeah, I think someone started clapping. That would be really we have a plaque here and a card that went somewhere.
Wow.
Perfect. We would love to deliver to you right now, if that's okay.
Yeah.
I believe this weapon is her gift.
Right here.
As a party gift for her years of service. She served for 12 years as a council member, and we're really appreciative of all the insight and energy that she brought to the council, and wanted to recognize that formally. Thank you so much. Okay, David, do you mind handing me that sheet? And we'll move on to agenda item number 2, public comment. Thank you. We'll just go in order of how you wrote yourselves down. We'll start with Dana. Please come and stand right here, say your name, all those things. It makes it easier for the recorder. And also helps with any of those who are viewing remotely. So,
Okay.
Thank you.
So, first of all, I would like to acknowledge...
Oh, hold on. I think I should probably set a timer. I wasn't thinking. Sorry, that's not a comment on you directly. This is just my first time doing this. Let's see. Is a 3-minute limit sufficient for those who signed up? Do you feel okay with 3 minutes as a way to get out what you need to? Hearing no objection, we will move with 3 minutes as your time limit. I will be the time recorder. Do you want debate hand signals? For how much time I have left, I can give you all of those. Okay. And whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Okay, first of all, I'd like to recognize the new council that's all been sworn in. And as a citizen, I would really like to know how the city council is going to inform the citizens of Green River as to what is going on in town. Because many times I come to city council, and I've been in lots of city council meetings, and the first thing you know about something is on the agenda, which is discuss, deny, approve. And so it seems like things get, the citizens, personally me, and others, it seems like we don't have any idea what's going on. So for the new council that's just been sworn in, I would like to have some way of city knowing how available you're going to be on topics that come before you, and how you're going to move forward with a lot of things, because there's a lot of things that are going on, in particular all the things with the uranium and lithium and all of those. And I know that with uranium, they have a public hearing already scheduled in February that the whole town has to know about. And so I would like to know, what the council is doing to make themselves available to city members, city citizens. And the other thing is with moving forward on a lot of different projects, what citizens can say and what kinds of things we have available to us, have the council listen to us. So that's part of the comments. The other thing is with the zoning. I know because I go to zoning meetings also, and the zoning is taking seriously a lot of changes. And so I think that when the zoning recommends to table something and not bring it before the council, I think the council can also not push things through. Maybe you need to table more things for a month so people can think about it more, become more informed. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. All right, next up was Ann. You're good? Okay. Scratching.
Correct.
Kathy? Just couldn't stay away, huh?
I gotta put my last word in.
You did.
Kathy Ryan, and I just want to say thank you to the people that volunteer. They're trying to be a part of city or any other aspect of Green River politics or things that we need to do, and to say do your homework. Make sure that a lot's going to start happening, that we educate ourselves so that we can tell our people and make them feel comfortable with the fast moving, because it seems like everything wants to go fast, fast, fast. So let's slow down, do our homework, educate our citizens, get their input, and keep Green River Green River. We always say we don't want to be Moab. Well, the first thing is to just reach out to our citizens and try to keep our community healthy, happy, and in good order.
Thank you for your comment, Kathy. Okay. Richard?
I think this is what they say in the well at Congress, isn't it? You have to come in the well.
Yeah, come into the well.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're not so fancy as to have an
Okay.
actual well, but
I just have one concern about what you're doing. I know there's a lot of things that people want to talk about that you don't have the authority to do much with. It'll come from higher up from the state and government and so on. But one of the things that would seriously affect all of the citizens in Elgin is if they activate those sewer lagoons from the old missileries. That's right there, and it's within a half a mile of my house. And there are homes that are closer. And I know they're going to have a discharge problem over there, but I really would hate to see that lagoon just across the railroad tracks activated. Comments from anyone else?
Agreed.
Agree, 100%.
Yeah, that would be horrible.
Yeah, being a downwinder.
Well, is that enough with the city lagoons?
Yeah, every bit of the wind comes to us from there. So I think that would just be a nix.
okay. Thank you.
That's my only comment.
Thank you. Okay. Grant?
Grant Glazer with Western Uranium and Maverick Strategic Minerals. I just wanted to make myself available for any further questions anybody has, the council, mayor, or anybody in the public for tonight.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. If you're okay with that during the agenda item, we'll go ahead and just open it up for
Absolutely.
questions if that's all right. Okay, thank you. Kim?
Will we get to address specific agenda items during that time, or do we have to address them now?
If you would like to address them now, I would address them now.
We won't be able to address them other times.
I'm probably not going to ask for public comment on things that have public sit already.
Okay. So, Kim McFarland, planning and zoning, member and residents. So, as a person who made the motion to table this agenda item for for extraction and stuff. I think that there are more safety and health issues that we are not talking about, we're not aware of, that need more study before we move forward with this. We just learned about, just had someone talk about the sewer ponds. That hasn't been discussed in any of our meetings, how that's going to be mitigated and addressed. Looking at some of the other ordinances in communities, there are ordinances that deal with settling ponds. Are these people going to have a settling pond? Do we need to have something that addresses that? Because that's addressed in other city ordinances besides the state. We can't rely on the state to do everything and look at every issue regarding these businesses that want to come in. We have to be able to identify the health and safety issues that's going to affect our residents. And when we push these things forward, there's it's bypassing some of those health and safety safeguards that should be put in place. And we need to consider them more before we go ramrodding this through.
Okay. Thank you for your comment. All right. I think this is Tim. I would guess this is you. It looks like vaguely like a T and a V, so I'm guessing.
I went to school, so
yeah.
We'll call.
Yeah, you got doctor handwriting, right?
I appreciate all of you what you're doing. I just have some questions that I hope you look at before. I'm not trying to stop nothing. I just want to make sure that the questions get answered. In lithium, they're looking at maybe, I don't know what these guys are as parts per million. I don't know if it's, say it's 125,000 parts per million. It's how many parts per million? So salt water is anywhere from 27,000 parts per million to 144,000 parts per million. So you got to take 175, a micro newt of that lithium is in that water. I don't know how many gallons of water they got to suck out to deal with. I don't know any of that. But I know it's salt water, and salt water is a mess as far as agriculture. And it creates a lot of problems. So whether it's injected back into the ground or they put it in ponds and it leaches from the ponds, you got to have there's a lot of factors there that need looked at. I just hope that you all look at that. I know the wells that were going in at Dead Horse Point, they thought they had 1,250 parts per million. They really had 125 is all. Most people that I've talked to, you need about 300 parts per million to even make it feasible. But I know people are chasing a lot of government money, and that's where they're getting it. They're going to make all their money off the government. So there's 125,000 parts per million. And in a salt water is 144,000 parts per million. That's where they're taking the lithium out of that much water to get it minute. So what are we going to do with all the rest of the water? I don't know if they suck it out and they have a machine that cleans it. That would be kind of a state of the art. But the other thing is it's in the county. So is the city going to annex? Is the city going to try to take control and annex in that? Or what's the city going to do to get their revenue out of this? You just let them build outside the county? That's what I see over here on this side of the county. They got the state ground and they're outside the city, and if the city don't annex it, then the city don't get no money. And I know you guys all know that. But that's where you benefit from it. So I just hope that you watch that, and safety is the main thing. Wells, as you know, we had a geyser right out here by the freeway that Junior Odell shot how many feet in the air? It don't no more. This is so fractured. That's why they can't get any gas wells out here. They're really, really hard because they're fractured and nobody knows where the water goes. And they lose their pressure. So anyway, just safety. That's what I'm just curious about. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for your comment. Sarah Fields.
My name is Sarah Fields, and I live in Moab in Grand County. And I wanted to particularly address item 6, which is discuss, approve, deny letter of recommendation for Western Uranium Vanadium Project. And that project, which you don't mention in the agenda, would be a proposed uranium mill. And that would affect Grand County. It would affect Grand County because emissions and the smell from a mill would go into Grand County. Ore trucks would also be coming through Grand County. Because right now they're only licensed uranium mine is over in Colorado. I sent you some letters. What concerns me is I don't know what this letter of recommendation is. You didn't put it in your agenda packet. I have no idea what you're recommending. I do have concerns about Western Uranium and Vanadium. In 2 news releases, one January 23rd, and I believe the next one was the 25th or 26th of this year, they announced that they had acquired land in Green River, and particularly in the industrial park, which is land that has is Sitla land. So they announced they had acquired that land, but that was a lie. It was a lie because they didn't have that land and they didn't acquire the land until August of this year, when they got 11 point some acres in the industrial park and then almost 300 acres which came from a Sitla auction. It wasn't land within the industrial park. There have been other misleading information from Western Uranium and Vanadium. Their Sunday Mine complex is really not permitted to operate. They can't pull ore out. They can pull ore out, but they have to store it underground. They can't bring it to the surface. They're not yet permitted to ship the ore. There's been a lot of concerns about the operation of that mine, and it's going through a BLM permitting process. So I think I would recommend against any letter recommending Western Uranium and Vanadium Project for whatever. It would have to go through a licensing process with the Utah Division of Waste Management and Radiation Control, and you should pay attention now because pretty soon the division is going to publish a notice of proposed rulemaking. There's still comments for the advance notice of proposed rulemaking on the division's website, and you can get in comments by the 17th. But I think if you are going to support a uranium mill so close to this community, you should consult with some of the people who live next to the White Mesa Mill down in San Juan County. The biggest complaint is the smell from the mill. And also they don't like their kids playing outside because of they're so close to the mill. So I think whatever decisions you make, you need a lot of information. You need to take it slow. There's no reason to hurry. Anyway, thank you for this opportunity to address you.
Thank you for your comment. All right, because this is the first time, is there anyone who didn't get a chance to sign up who would like to make a public comment? This is the first time we've done it this way, so if there's something that you would like to say, you're more than welcome.
I would.
Okay, sure.
Just briefly.
My name is.
Please write down your
My
name.
name is.
Oh, no.
God. Oh, I'm so sorry.
You're good. We'll figure it out. It's okay. We'll get them back.
Oh, goodness. Well,
Thank you. You can walk out. No, they're both bad. It doesn't matter. Just.
I was just on the heels of what Dana was saying in terms of for the future and how the citizens are let know what's going to happen. And just the posting in the post office and at the library really isn't enough. People just, once the thing's there forever, people just walk right by it. And it's really, really tiny writing. It would be so wonderful to maybe in the water bill, a calendar of the meetings, so that citizens can come and participate and become educated on what's happening. And that would be greatly appreciated. And I think that and not only that, but people would possibly begin to be proactive in the community. So, that's all. Thank you. Chris,
Thank you.
Christine Sheeter, like a sheet of paper within your.
Thank you.
And I would like to.
Sure. Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
You do have a guy raising his hand on the.
Yeah, we'll get to remote comments in a second.
All right. My name's Kelly Dunham, and to echo the safety thing is huge. Don't rush something that we don't know much about. Just today there was something on BBC News about lithium, mining, because it is everybody chasing the dollar and all of that, and how there is a lot of environmental issues with it. The water contamination, land contamination, air contamination, different things like that. There's just a lot of unknowns, and please don't rush it. And I didn't know anything about the uranium thing, so I echo that as well. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and go to the remote comment.
Hi, can you see me?
Yes.
And you can hear me, very good.
Me.
My name is John Whiteside. I live in Moab, Utah, and thank you very much for this opportunity to speak. I just want to convey mutual concern about how this is being processed. There's a lot of questions that need to be answered, and if it takes time to do that, then the community deserves that time. That also means we need time to do studies ourselves and to consult with experts and to perform this in another meeting so that we can convey these things to everybody, so everybody gets a chance to hear what our concerns are. And so I don't need a full 3 minutes. I'm basically repeating what's already been said. I just want to be clear that it's very, very important to us who live in Grant County as well as Emery County. We are, after all, neighbors. And so thank you for this opportunity. That's it. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other remote comment?
Not that I see.
Okay. Thank you for all those who came and made public comment. We appreciate it. This will be the process sort of like going forward with this, so hopefully it seems mostly painless to me, so hopefully it felt mostly painless to you. We'll go ahead and close public comment and move into agenda item number 3, consideration for and adoption of parameters resolution authorizing the issuance of parity sewer revenue bonds of the City of Green River and calling of a public hearing to receive input with respect to the issuance of such bonds and any potential impact to the private sector from the construction of the project. So I know we had our bonding attorney draft this very simple resolution. Like all bonds look, it's nice and succinct, but it covers us legally and meets all the parameters of state law and things like that. You have a question? Or you have a comment, sir?
I just had to present certification that it was properly posted for.
Perfect.
So, check that box.
Okay, this has been properly posted, which is also part of compliance with state law on the matter. Specifically, this is about the public hearing that we have to hold and the bonds that we are likely going to have to issue regarding, not likely, I think we're agreeing to it essentially, but we also have to have a public hearing first to hear on the issuance of those bonds. Regarding our sewer project, this is part of the contingency to receiving CED funds and any other funding that we've a lot of the other funding sources that we've given out. This is part and parcel with it. So that's what that's about. Do you have any other comment to make about that, Tyler?
CIB.
CIB,
That's
not
right.
CIB. Thank you. Okay.
I have a question. Can you just clarify what the sewer project is?
It's replacing a lot of the sewer line. It's really
That's
what it comes down to.
essentially.
There's a lot of the pipes in town for water and for sewer are at sort of their life expectancy, and there's issues they're past their life expectancy, and there's issues with intrusion and other things like that. So that's what it's to address.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the sewer lagoons aren't keeping up with the flow. So they're adjusting how the sewer lagoons are going to properly froth and use the bacteria, etc.
What a pleasant word. All right. Council, is there any debate on the matter? Does anybody have a position they'd like to make known?
On the bond?
On the bond itself?
We need one.
It is part of us going after the funding that we had, so we're kind of...
If we want to flush our toilets, we gotta do.
Yeah. Okay. If there is, then we entertain a motion on agenda item 3.
There's no motion on 3, is there?
I believe we still have to adopt the parameters resolution. So it would be a motion to adopt the parameters resolution. Is that right?
And the lawyers wrote that agenda item, not me. So
that's the specific agenda item.
I make a motion to adopt the what was it called?
Parameters resolution.
The parameter resolution.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt the parameters resolution.
Let's do a roll call.
We'll do a roll call on this one because it's a resolution. We'll start with you, Guy.
Aye.
Larry?
Aye.
Bo?
Aye.
Ken?
Aye.
Ben?
Yep.
It passes unanimously. All right. Discuss, approve, deny, considering the Planning Commission's lack of timely recommendation on allowing mineral extraction and processing in the industrial zones as a negative recommendation according to Utah Code 109A3024. This is the wording of the statute, and so that's why it's worded as such. Do you guys want to discuss this at all? I'll go ahead and discuss a few things. I think I understand how a lot of you feel regarding this. But there's a few comments that I would like to address that I don't think are necessarily the truth before us anyway. This particular set of agenda items is approved by the only person that wasn't asked was Guy, since he wasn't quite sworn in yet. And 4 of the sitting 5 council members who are elected officials wanted to sponsor something to move this forward, which is within their elected right. It's how the system works, and in general, it is our intention to listen to you and to know what your desires are and what you're thinking, and to receive public comment. And when public comment was asked for on this in planning and zoning, I don't believe that there was much, if any.
We didn't have public comment yet because we hadn't come to a decision on it, really.
You had a public hearing on this particular extract.
No.
Yes.
Yes, you did. You did. We got it.
Yeah.
In the record.
I was there. Yeah. And
Some people don't know about it.
right.
That's the problem.
In terms of addressing part of the issue of people not knowing about things, public hearings are posted, I believe, 10 days in advance, right?
At least.
At least 10. And they're also posted to the public meetings website that the state produces. You can set up an alert for it to come right to your phone's email anytime that the city of Green River is posting any sort of agenda whatsoever. That includes work sessions, special sessions, executive sessions, planning and zoning, any of those things. And so I would highly encourage you to do that to increase your level of informed citizen. We post it in at least 2 places, usually more than that, and also it's posted online. And I'm not sure what to do otherwise. I think that there's a couple of things that we could do where maybe we set up some sort of newsletter. I know everyone loves signing up for email newsletters or text newsletters, and maybe that's something that we could look into. But you can also sort of receive those same alerts through the public meetings website. Feel free to sign up for those, and you'll get them immediately. And like I said, I think it's within 24 hours of it being posted that there's an email that comes to you that says the agenda. I'm signed up for the commission one, and I think it's usually within an hour after it's posted.
Can you define untimely?
I think in this situation, it got tabled twice with no clear indication from minutes of progress being made. And so because of that, the council, like I said, 4 of them wanted to sponsor a bill to move forward. In general, untimely is just anything that's considered unreasonable. At this point, like, if the council never wants to move on it, right, then it's not enforceable anyway and it won't matter. But the council is the legislative body and they wanted to move. So, is that an answer to that question? Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, because we've had some other zoning issues that went on for nearly a year.
And the council didn't want to legislate on those, they didn't move on them.
Yeah, so define untimely, because it's happened where there's been zoning issues that have taken almost a year to...
Right. I'm saying the difference here is that this one is triggered by a council sponsorship. I'm not trying to like throw any sort of like, this is something where the council wanted to move. And so I didn't sponsor this specifically. It's sponsored by the other 4 council members because they want to legislate on it. And in general, that's sort of what the triggering mechanism is under state law, is if the council wants to move on it, it's been tabled, they can move.
So I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
If that's the case, why you have a planning and zoning committee that is more in tune with the planning and zoning? They report to council, right?
They report as a recommending body.
Right. So
do you understand hold on? Do you understand the difference there?
Yes.
Right.
Yes. No, I understand.
Okay.
My thought process is, though, that planning and zoning would be a little more in tune with zoning and planning issues that fall in that line of, that they're the ones that think about maybe the sewer, they're the ones that think about the drainage, or they're the ones that think about more things than just, I don't feel like
I
totally get it that the council could override or think the time.
Yeah, I totally understand what you're saying there.
But that's a concern.
I think the other flip side of that coin is also to realize that the council is the one who generally has the cities in its entirety, not just planning and zoning, at its sort of like directive.
And honestly, I'm not saying I'm for or against.
Okay.
So let me just I'm not being combative here, but like really though, you guys sit up there as our city councilmen and the people that are supposed to represent Green River. But honestly, when you guys are making these decisions to bypass everything, and even though it's just a small group of us in here, how many of you have actually taken the time to figure out what the people of Green River want? Or have you guys decided to sponsor this bill and only care about what your own opinion is of this bill?
I would say that is likely untrue. I've definitely talked to people about this, and I know that council members have spoken to people about it. And I am not incredibly hard to reach, as I don't think most of the council members are. You can get a hold of me. I have business cards right out front. You can grab them anytime. I'll put more out there with Lonnie and Julie if you want to grab them. My phone hasn't had a message on it at the city office.
I was just curious, that's all, because it just sounds like there's a lot of concerns, and so
No,
I'm not saying I'm for or against,
No,
or that I have any
right.
real questions. I'm just saying that as it sounds, and from the things that I've heard from people, which I'm not saying they have reached out, haven't reached out, that's not what I'm saying.
Sure.
All I'm saying is I would just hope that that's really what you guys are doing, is representing our own city, is that it's not just based off of what you want and actually listening to the people that voted you in. Because I've heard the comment before, if you don't like what I'm doing, then vote me out. Well, that's kind of rough when sometimes you don't even have that many people running for city council. Sometimes it makes it harder to vote someone out when you don't have anyone running against them.
I agree.
Yeah.
In general, the ordinance that we passed to end the election this year is, from my personal standpoint, and this has nothing to do with the council or anything, but in my own personal opinion, it's a low point for the city. To me. Not because I don't think that Guy will do a great job. He will. And
I think so too.
Yeah.
He had my vote from the
But
get-go.
it is something where when there's no vote to be had.
No, that's
for
what I'm saying.
any
It
of the
makes it
incoming
rough,
members,
right.
That makes it a difficult situation.
It does, and it kind of feels like you're stuck with whatever you have up there. And that goes with all of us. If we wanted to have a voice, you run, right? Like, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that maybe you should consider yourself lucky that you're sitting up there and that you are representing the people of Green River, and that maybe, just maybe, you should think about the city and what the city's actually looking for. And that's all I'm saying.
So I can, and I guess, like, just to speak to that, if it doesn't, like, and it's not going to alleviate necessarily anyone's opinion, but I do want you all to know, like, the reason that we're sort of making some of these shifts to create easier access, easier heard public comment, is so we can hear some of these things. And so that we can go ahead and implement some sort of policy or ordinance or just, a basic practice at a council level to create needed transparency, to create some sort of communication and dialogue that's happening. Because I understand part of the reason that a lot of people don't run for city council in Green River is that all of you have 5, 6, 7, 12 jobs. And so there's a difficulty, right? Like, there's a threshold to find out it does. And a lot of the people up here are also working several jobs. And so I just want there to be some sort of like understanding of that. When I've talked to city council members, because we have meetings, like, of what's the sort of like reason that you're still in city council, like, why are you, like, what are things that you're interested in? The general feeling that I can say that I get, and the reason that I was willing to not move after a year, is because I felt like in general, the city council wanted things for the city.
Amen. I'm not saying I disagree with that.
No,
I just, like I said,
I'm not trying to like draw any, like, I don't think these things are like binary, right? But you're saying this, I'm saying this. I don't think that's.
I don't hold my breath. If I had something to say to you outside city council, you would have heard it.
I would. But that's part of the thing here. So in regard to this, a lot of zoning issues don't really come to the city until there's a partner. Until there's someone who wants to build, someone who wants to have a business, someone who wants to change what they're doing so that it's something else. That's how a lot of planning and zoning situations come up. And in this particular situation, the council felt strongly enough to move forward on it. It's not something where we've felt like the Planning and Zoning Commission isn't doing their job, or they're not interested, or they have checked out, and that's what. But in this particular situation, they wanted to move forward. So.
As planning chair, just in defense of the council.
Sure.
What you talk about the recommendation, we would have given a positive recommendation or a negative. Those are the two choices, and no matter what we decided, it would have went to council anyway.
Yeah.
And kind of explaining this, this would explain to everybody. So in this being an agenda item of a negative recommendation, they're just accepting our delay and tabling it as our negative recommendation. So this would be similar to if we had voted no, and our recommendation would have went to the council as a no vote. That's what they're accepting our delay as. So regardless of how we would have put it through last month or 6 months from now, this kind of similar situation, basically agenda 5 would have been sitting at the council's table with what our recommendation was. So they're saying our delay is basically, they're taking that as a no vote for this. So.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for clarifying that. That's good.
And we can make adjustments to this right in the future if we decide that this code isn't what we want.
Sure. Yeah.
Except for businesses that begin under this, do not have to follow the new policy.
Yes, people get grandfathered in if they're already acting as a business.
So that's where your problem is. You have a vague or a less robust ordinance, and somebody moves in really fast, starts their business, and you decide, oh, we needed to make this tighter here, then you've lost your opportunity.
Okay. All right. I really feel like a lot of you should have signed up for public comment. Just going to say that.
It's hard to build
But with that, is there any discussion with the council regarding the item? Or do you feel like you've said that?
I would agree with what Randy said. I don't want the planning commission to feel like that they're not doing their job. I think they are. I think you guys have the city's best interest at heart in what you're doing. I really do. I'm honestly looking at what I feel is best for the community, and it may not be what all you feel is best. But I chose to be in this position, and it's not an easy position to be in all the time. But I'm here, and this is the decision I've made.
All right. If there's no other discussion, I would entertain a motion on agenda item 4.
How do you word it exactly?
You either you approve or deny the exact wording of the whichever your motion is, or you can choose to table it.
Can you get specific on it?
Well, agenda item 4 is just that we're going to pull this agenda item.
Oh, so we just gotcha.
That's just for the pulling of it and taking their recommendation as a no.
So approving that takes the recommendation as a no?
Yeah, so that's part of the statute. So the statute specifically, Utah Code 109834 says that you're essentially you're taking the lack of timely recommendation as on allowing mineral extraction and processing industrial zones as a negative recommendation, according to the Utah Code. That's what it allows for us to pull, is if we take it as a negative recommendation.
One more thing is I hope things like this will spur more of you to put your name on the ballot and run. Who cares if you lose? I mean, we had nobody running against us. I mean, that's sad for our community. I agree with Ren. That is sad for this community, that we don't even have enough interest in the community to have people running for our city council. But then we hear that you guys want to be more informed. Go to the meetings. Make yourself informed. The government can't inform you if you are not willing to be informed. Okay? Run.
Can I make one comment? I think it's
Sure.
important for citizens to educate themselves, to get more involved in every aspect of your city. If you want changes that are coming, because they're going to come, then you need to get involved. You need to educate your children, get them involved and excited about what the future of Green River is going to look like. Be a part of it at the very beginning. Don't wait till the end. Get involved at the very start of it. Be aware. Look. Educate yourself.
I mean, this has been planning and zoning for 2.5, 3 months now, so it hasn't been kept a secret from anybody. But we're acting like it was.
Thank you all for what you do, and
So I make a
be
motion.
ready to walk in somebody else's shoes before we.
I make a motion to approve, considering planning commission's lack of timing recommendation on allowing mineral extraction and processing in industrial zones is a negative recommendation according to Utah Code 10-9A-3024.
Question I have is, can we vote on 5 and table 4?
No. I believe if we table 4, that means that we have to table 5.
Okay.
To pull it, we have to consider it. So point of order, there was a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. We'll roll call this. Guy?
Can I abstain from this vote, seeing
Sure.
I
You
wasn't
can
part
abstain
of
from
it?
any
Yeah,
vote.
I'd like to on this one.
Okay. Larry?
Aye.
Bill? Aye. Ken?
Aye.
Ben?
Aye.
It passes with one abstention. Agenda item 5, discuss, approve, deny ordinance number 2024-01 allowing mineral processing and extractive industry in the city industrial zones I-1, I-2, and I-3, which includes solids such as coal and ores, liquids such as crude petroleum and salt brine, and gases such as natural gases, and setting conditional use criteria for extractive industry. So as it's currently worded, the ordinance would put extractive industry in I-1, I-2, and I-3 on conditional basis, meaning it would still trigger a review by the planning and zoning. We can amend that if we desire, or we can move forward with it.
It goes before planning and zoning with the conditional. Does it still go before the council?
Yeah, conditional uses are ultimately still approved by us after planning and zoning's recommendation.
Is there public comment on conditional uses?
Not usually.
No to both of those.
Thank you. Yeah. No.
Conditional use is just, we have condition criteria within our code. So we review what the industry, what is attached to it, and they would have to kind of check box all those conditional criteria. And if they did for some reason, like some is like excessive noise and dust, if you were bringing a mining industry in, it was like a turbine whirlwind of dust, then we could say that doesn't qualify in those conditions, and thus it's not allowed. But that just comes through us, and it's just basically black and white through those conditions.
So yeah, they'll review that criteria outlined in that pamphlet. Now, if it's denied, they can appeal it to the council.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Any discussion or debate?
So do we want to make conditional use in I-3 on these mineral extraction, or should it be in the matrix and approved?
In I-3, just approve it.
Yeah.
You could amend this to make it so for I-3 it's permitted use, if you want to do.
Do we have I-3?
We do, out in the...
Way far away?
Down below.
They're more on the highways, far east side of town, and then kind of along 6.
Any opposition to that? Yeah. Permitted use, is that the word?
Yeah, so it'd be conditional on I-1 and I-2, if that's what I'm hearing, and then permitted use in I-3.
I have a question. What Mayor Brennan said that, so if this is approved, this agenda item is approved, then it goes to the planning? No, it doesn't.
No, the ordinance itself won't. But anybody that's trying to get anything in I-1 or I-2 or I-3 right now, as it's noted on the agenda, that would go before the council, before the commission.
Okay.
All right. I would entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve ordinance number 124-01, allowing mineral processing and extractive industry in the city's industrial zones, I-1, I-2, and I-3. Well, I-1 and I-2 as a conditional use, and I-3 as a permitted use. This also includes coal, ores, liquids, crude petroleum, salt brine, gases, such as natural gases,
Okay. I have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
A motion and a second. This needs to be roll call. Guy?
Aye.
Larry?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
Kent?
Aye.
Ben?
Aye.
Okay. It passes unanimously. Discuss, approve, deny letter of recommendation for Western Uranium and Vanadium's project. I said that I would go ahead and open this for questions. And if Grant can answer it since he's here. Is there anybody who has a question for Grant?
What is this project?
What was the question?
What is this project?
It's a mineral processing plant to process uranium and vanadium primarily, but we can open it up later on if there's other materials that we process. Like somebody's mentioned cobalt, so that could be a possibility in the future too. But initially, it's just going to be for uranium and vanadium processing.
Okay. Where is this?
In the west end of the Green River Industrial.
By the old substation on your way to Price.
That's that little weather station that's out there.
Yes, we just put that in.
There was a question that was brought up in public comment, and I think it's probably a good idea to go over it, which is specifically what would the letter of recommendation be for? I think that this is something we went over in the first time you met with us in December, but...
It's just the City Council and the City of Green River's recommendation to go forward with this project. We still have to go through all of the state licensing requirements, and that's some of the public hearings that are going to be happening, and then there's plenty of time allowed in those for other public comments for the state regulators. So it's a very stringent process that we have to go through just to get the license submitted, and then a lengthy review process by the state to approve the license. So this recommendation is just saying that, yeah, this is something Green River would like to see happen. It doesn't mean that this is what's going to make it happen. There's going to have to be a lot of data collected and a lot of public comments and hearings to happen before that can take place.
Okay. Any other questions?
So basically, a letter of recommendation is saying the city of Green River approves of it, i.e. the citizens of Green River approve of it.
That's an interesting question in terms of
Basically,
civics.
that's what happened with the Blackstone Minerals letter.
Exactly,
A1
in October.
Yeah. So in terms of the civic side of that, I suppose that is generally true, that your representatives are interested in seeing it move forward. But
Your elected officials,
yeah.
at least the people.
But that doesn't like obviously that doesn't like hold anyone like if people want to try to get signatures or anything else that they want there, they can go ahead and do that. That's your freedom of speech is unimpeded. So. Any other questions? Okay.
Just
yeah.
Sorry. Richard Ryan, but as I'm understanding this, I think it's clear to everybody in here, but I'm a little slower and I want to make sure I understand. What you're doing is approving this for the city. And that's as far as you can go.
Right.
You can't, the state can still stop it.
Yes.
The feds can still stop it. And they can stop it themselves if they don't meet regulations.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just that simple. We're giving them an opportunity to do something in Green River.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
If they meet our zoning requirements.
Yes.
Also, it's just that the city is supportive of the idea of moving forward.
If all the testing and everything goes right.
Yeah. Sarah.
Well, wouldn't this kind of, by approving that such a letter, it would interfere with your ability to, at a later date, when this project would require a conditional use permit. You'd already said, we agree, this is a good idea. So,
There's nothing that's binding about the letter in terms of
well,
legal.
right, but I wonder what's the basis of would be the basis for approving such a uranium mill if you've never really had any relationship with a uranium mill. I know there's an old close one here, but I just wonder what's so great about a uranium mill that you would want one in your community emitting radon and uranium and radioactive gases and particulates and bad smells.
Can I address your concern? As far as a citizen of Green River, which I am. I'm a councilman, but I'm also a citizen of Green River. I grew up here. I love this community. And to someone like you, it might not make sense that someone like me would want a uranium mill. But I can also address, when I was younger, I used to drive a truck, and I hauled over into the White Mesa uranium mill, which was a job for me. And I know that the rules and the processing and everything is a lot better now than it was when they built that uranium mill. It is better now than it was then. And yes, I don't have all my questions answered yet. But by this letter, what I'm agreeing to is I want to explore this further for my community, for the people that live here, for my kids that might want a job here in the future. Right now, there is nothing here unless they want to become a school teacher like me, a truck driver, a ditch rider, work for UPS delivering holiday letters, just to make ends meet in this community. I mean, what's wrong with exploring it further? And you're not from this community, and I understand your concern about trucks going through Moab. I get that. When I was younger, in my younger day, driving through Moab, you guys would stand out where there was signs and take pictures of my truck as I drove through Moab because I was headed to the mill. And I'm sure you'll do that again, trying to stop it. But I am for it.
Well, inappropriate.
That wasn't her, she didn't do that.
Well, maybe
You
she
should have
wasn't.
brought it up to her, though, that wasn't very nice.
Sorry, I apologize for that. But I love this community, and I'm wanting to explore it further.
If I'm not mistaken, this letter recommendation from his presentation, I wasn't on council, but I did take the time to come try to educate myself prior to this. It was to help secure some federal funding to help move forward with this project. Part of the Biden spend money. Am I correct with that? That it does help with that?
Any federal funds
No.
whatsoever.
Okay. So I apologize for that. But I'm going to add further comments, and it's on the last one and this one. As a citizen of Green River and representing a big share of Green River community that is currently working at the Atlas Tailings relocation, they're about 4 to 5 years out. And we're going to have a good share of our community that have got good paying jobs with benefits, that are head of household incomes, out of work. And as a community member of Green River, looking at all those individuals that are putting our kids in schools here, have incomes, help support all the other businesses that are in this town, if we lose them and they do not have something to transfer to for occupations, we're in trouble. And so, looking forward and trying to say we need to explore these other things. By us voting on the lithium to go ahead with that, to go ahead with the uranium, it's not saying it's going to happen. But it's saying we're opening the doors for that potentially to happen. But they still have to go the permitting processes. They still have to abide by all the regulations. There's still a lot of comment. And if it's not something that's going to be beneficial for Green River, we can always say no. But by not going forward and saying, let's look at it, let's explore, let's see what we can bring to our community to support our economy, to give people jobs here, besides the service industry that are minimum wage and people can't survive on. We're not doing our community any kind of favor. It's not for me personally, but it's for a community of knowing that we have a good share of our community that's going to be out of work in a drop of a hat when we're looking at a complete industry change or something that's going to come in to take the place of those people that are working at Crescent Junction, Moab, that do live here.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, if I may comment?
Sure, yeah.
all of us stood up and said the pledge allegiance to the flag. If we stop every single industry that's questionable, stop it and send it to China, where there's no regulation, the pollution is still part of this earth, and it still will affect us. And I personally would welcome the opportunity for the United States to be able to control something with uranium that we're going to need in the future if they have it go to China. My
Thanks, Richard. All righty. Okay, any other discussion by the council?
Now, I'll make a motion to approve letter of recommendation for Western Uranium and Vanadium.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Might as well roll call it. Why not? Let's start at the other side. Ben.
Yes.
Kent.
Yes.
Bo.
Yes.
Larry.
Yes.
Guy. Thank you. Passes unanimously. Discuss, approve, deny the MOU with the Utah Cyber Center in order to participate in the state and local cybersecurity grant program. Do you want to speak to that a little bit?
All this is they're offering training resources for the city employees and software to help us lock down our systems. Like, hopefully it'll help us lock down the water plant and City Hall. And it just opens up resources.
Okay.
As far as I can tell, there's no anything we really have to pay or anything.
Any questions?
I make a motion to approve the MOU with the Utah Cyber Center in order to participate in state and local cybersecurity.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? It appears to be unanimous. Discuss, approve, deny appointing Bo Harrison as the mayor pro tem. I lost my mayor pro tem, so I either appointed him, and I drew Bo's unlucky name out of the hat. So that's my indication. If there's any, if Bo absolutely wants to decline, or if anyone else really, really wants it, I can always change this motion, or I can change my appointment.
I make a motion to approve Bo Harrison as mayor pro tem.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Let's roll call this one, Guy.
Yes.
Larry?
Aye.
Bo?
Abstain.
Okay.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, it passes and with one abstention. Discuss, approve, deny appointing Guy Webster as the City of Green River representative on the Emory Emergency Medical Special Service District Board. We had a short list of people that the EMS workers in town were thought would fight for them and do a good job on the board, and Guy was on that short list. And then when he was elected to city council, it just seemed like kismet, so I wanted to appoint him. He has agreed, so he can't lie now and say that he didn't. But I would entertain a motion on this appointment.
I would motion that we appoint Guy Webster as the City of Green River representative on the Emory Emergency Medical Special Service District Board.
We're going to give that one to Bo on the second. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? It appears unanimous. Discuss, approve, deny appointing Kim McFarland as a regular planning commission member.
I make a motion to approve appointing Ken McFarland as a regular planning commission.
We're going to give that one to Kent. On the second, there's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? It appears unanimous. Discuss, approve, deny appointing Gaina Salinas as an alternate planning commission member.
I'll make a motion to approve Gaina Salinas as an alternate planning commission member.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Larry seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Did anyone abstain? Anyone voted? Okay. I just didn't hear some voices now. Just wanted to make sure. Okay. Discuss, approve, deny appointing Glenna Brown as an alternate planning commission member. So this is so we have two alternates that can fill in case there's continued absence for any reason, especially medical or anything.
I make a motion to approve appointing Joanna Brown as alternate planning commission member.
The motion is there, second.
I'll second.
We have a second from Ben. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? It appears unanimous. Scott, you got anything you want to report about Green River EMS to us?
Plugging along.
Okay. I know that there are discussions ongoing about changing some of the things we talked about last month. Some of those things, I just need to talk to an attorney and make sure that the city's in control of a couple things, because if they are, we can just make the change. And I also, last I spoke to members of the EMS board while I was still serving. No. The discussion about the stipend, they're like, that's ongoing discussion at that level, and also they're going to have a better idea of their budget in the next 3 months as a special service district. There was also a discussion about maybe applying like the same sort of thing that like St. George does, with like a hospital tax to help pay everyone a little bit more because volunteer EMS. So.
Just want you to know, feel free to contact me anytime with concerns, things that you want me to be aware of, run up, run down, whatever. I think you know that. We've had a lot of discussions in the past, but doors definitely open. And any other citizens for that matter.
We'll invite you to our garage meetings where everybody can discuss everything before the board meetings.
Sounds great. Okay, agenda item 14, discuss, approve, deny consent agenda, which includes the financial report of November 2023, the payment approval report of 2024 for January, the treasurer report of December 2023, and the December 1st, 2023 special meeting minutes.
I make a motion to approve consent agenda.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Larry seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? It is passed unanimously. Any comments from employees or concerns from the employees that are here? Any comments or concerns from City Council? And, anything you want to make anyone aware of? Okay. I believe I have got out all of the speaking I wanted to. So with that, we can move to agenda item number 16. I've entertained a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to approve.
We have a motion. Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
It passes unanimously.
And I apologize to you on the uranium. That was a lithium that was looking for some federal matching funds. Yeah, as soon as I said that, I was like, yeah, the wrong meeting, the wrong one. Yeah. Yeah. And as soon as I started down that road, I was like, yeah, wrong medium, wrong project. Yeah. Hey, thank you.
Not as painful as
As far as I know, she's one of the
And I know we have.
I've got a couple questions. I'll hit you up in advance.
I don't know if Jan.
Well, ask Red. He'll love to speak to me, don't you, Red?
Well, I've got on one. Looking at it, it's smooth, but I've tried to do some of what I can. I have to. Open wells, 10 miles from work processing, and all the stuff how feasible that is. There's a lot of big questions. But my concern is, we've got all these kids out here questions for kids. We've got all these families relying on this. 4 or 5 years from their time. Thanks for calling. Look at how many of these people